Okay, so welcome to part 10 in the series. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover setting up seeds, and this is going to build upon the previous tutorial where we created a migration. So with seeding, unlike migrations that do need to be in a specific folder relative to the root, so in this case it'd be database seeds. So with this one, we'll have to use the publishers function to move the file from within the package. If we have files within the database seeds folder of the package, move them into the root, and then run the seeding command. So the first thing we need to do, in order for seeding to work, you need to have two files. You need to have a model, and you need to have a seeder. So the model from basic MVC is just declaring the table and the attributes of an entity relative to a table. So I've got this post table, and the attributes would be title and content with created at and updated at timestamps. And then the seeder is just going to be a file that will, depending on how you want to populate the database, it will create records from existing information. So with the seed I'm going to create in this tutorial, it's going to be just creating a initial record based on information I want to go in the database. So with that in mind, I'm going to go to the command line and first generate my model. So PHP artisan make model and then call it post. And then I'm going to also generate the seed. So the name of this seeder, in this case, I'm going to just do the name of the package followed by seeder, since that is the normal context used for seeders. So LWAP seeder. So that should have generated a post file. So if I drag that into the app directory of my application, and then if I go into database seeds and drag the LWAP seeder into the database folder, then create a seeds folder and drag it into there. So first I'll have to make changes to this post file and put in all the properties that I'll need for it to point to the right database table and fields. So first I need to change the namespace to match the package. And then I need to put in the properties. So table posts, public timestamps equals true, and then protected fillable equals title followed by content. So now that file should be fine. I can move on to the seed. So just in the seed, I need to include this model file. So if I copy the namespace, and then within this run function, this is the code that's going to get executed when you run the seeding command. So I'm just going to create an array of initial data. I'm just going to call it initial content. And then I'm going to do a title followed by the content. So just going to do hello world. And then if I want to add any additional content to this, I can just put it in the array, and I'll basically loop through this array and create a new model instance and save it to the database. So for each initial content as title content. Then post create compact title content. So with this basic code, it should create one record in the database with hello as the title and world as the content. The create method on post will you can actually assign this to a variable to have an instance of the post, but creates a method to go straight into the database, so you don't have to create an instance and then run the save function. So it's a bit shorter syntax, and using the compact function makes the code slimmer for being able to assign variables or properties straight to the model. So the next task is to create a publish command. So this publishes. And then we've already got a database path helper for the package. So I'm just going to use this helper within the publish command. So database path. And we're going to make sure that command can be run with the seeds tag, just to avoid publishing in any other files. So now I should be able to go into my Vagrant box and run PHP artisan vendor publish tag equals seeds. And you can see that's moved my file along to database seeds in the root directory. And that code should be there now. So if I go into the command line again and run PHP artisan db seed followed by class equals, and then you can basically copy the class of your seeder. This will make sure that you're only seeding the database from a single file rather than running all the seeds, which it's better to know what data is going into your database rather than blindly letting the process run. So if I go into my database now, I can now see that that record's gone in, and timestamps have been updated as well from having the timestamps property to true on the model. So that's all functional, and that's it for this tutorial.